Most of you watching this video are likely to be making one common error in your slides. If you fix that error, it can lead to better clarity for your audience and for you. Hey, I'm Ravi, a storytelling coach who has trained over 10,000 mid to senior level leaders across companies on the art of storytelling at work. I've also guided 200 plus non-profits on crafting a better pitch, enabling them to secure hundreds of millions of rupees in funding. I've also written a highly rated book on the subject. And in this video, I will tell you about a common mistake I see very often on pretty much all presentation slides. Before I share it, here is a small exercise for you. Look at these two charts and tell me what is the right headline for these two charts. You have four options. Option A, India literacy rate analysis. Option B, literacy rate in India over time and compared to other countries. Option C, how has India fared in literacy rate? And option D, the journey of India's literacy rate. Some of you might be veering towards option B, while some others might think that D sounds better. The answer, none of the above. None of them answer the question for the audience, what meaning do these two charts convey? Each of them leaves unanswered questions in the audience's minds. Let's consider each of them one by one. A, India literacy rate analysis. The audience will say, yes, what about the analysis? What came of it? Consider B, literacy rate in India over time and compared to other countries. The audience thinks, yeah, so how are we doing over time? Are we up? Are we down? And compared to other countries, are we below? Are we above? We don't know. If you consider C, how is India fared in literacy rate? The audience will be like, yeah, you tell me, how was it? I don't know. And even if you consider the fourth one, the journey of India's literacy rate, it sounds poetic, but a journey can be good, bad, ugly, anything. We don't know how India's was. The headers above are what we call as bland titles. They convey the topic being discussed, but don't explain the meaning of the slide. Instead of titles like these, consider this sentence. India's literacy has grown steadily, but is still below world average and other developing countries. This sentence is what we would call a message, a clear one-line summary of the information on the slide. Every slide should have a clear message on the top left corner in place of the header. If you're thinking, but isn't that sentence too long? I thought one should have a short and crisp header. Good question. Let's consider a real life slide with some data on the travel sector. Here's what I would request you to do. Open a stopwatch on your phone, start the timer, and then observe the slide that we will show next. Try to write a one-sentence summary of the meaning of the slide on a piece of paper. You may pause the video while you do that. Now, even though this is a relatively simple slide, it would have taken you some time to understand it. At first, you would have seen that the table compares the share of the two main sources people use to do online travel planning, search engines and brand sites and apps, across multiple travel categories, four of them: car rental, air travel, accommodation and cruises. Then you realize that the years have been put in the wrong order. Most readers would prefer to see 2013 before 2014. Eventually you work out, in all categories, search engines are gaining share over brand sites and apps. That is your message. Now, check your stopwatch. When I do this exercise in a workshop, people typically take between 2 to 2.5 minutes, 120 to 150 seconds, to figure out the message on their own. That is a lot of time for just one slide. Time that your audience should not be spending for such a simple finding. Instead, you should have that message clearly displayed at the top like in this slide. Read the message on this slide and look at the content now. When I do this exercise in my workshops, participants say that they get the meaning of the slide in just 10 to 20 seconds now, as against the 120 to 150 seconds earlier. That is a drastic reduction in the time and effort of the audience to understand your data story. Finally, a few words on the mindset change that you need for this. Since 2016, I've conducted storytelling workshops for 10,000 plus participants at leading companies across sectors. In these sessions, whenever I've demonstrated the power of messages over titles, the response is usually the same. People are initially very enthusiastic and buy into the concept. But soon, one person will say, but Ravi, we have always just had a title at the top. The unsaid part, this is too big of a change for us. We might prove that it works in a workshop, but don't count on us doing this on an ongoing basis at our work. I get it. It's a big little change. If you are uncertain about adopting it wholesale, here's what you could do. Try it out on just 1 or 2 critical slides in your next presentation. If you aren't sure of the audience's reaction, keep a bland title version of your slide and show that first. Show the same slide with a clear message next. Ask your audience what would they prefer. Even if that person says they prefer the bland header, don't lose hope. Try it out on a different audience or with a different type of slide. You will slowly but surely get better at the task of writing messages and will find a supportive audience. Do not present slides with just bland titles on top. If you do that, you might get this reaction from your audience.
अरे कहना क्या चाहते हो?
Instead, craft a crisp message so that both you and your audience are clear about the slide's point. And instead, you'll get this reaction from that same audience.
क्या बात है?
By the way, this content features in Story Rules, my book on storytelling techniques published by Penguin and available with all major book retailers. Story Rules distills 31 proven storytelling techniques and 300 plus real-world examples into clear frameworks that you can use right away. Click on the link in the description to get a copy. May your story rule.